waifus, trade fights for better views. We both need something new. Maybe we should just tell them. I shouldn't think I need some blood. So long to rendezvous. So long to.
Hello, hive-minded readers, and welcome to the Books and the Bees podcast. Just like bees play a crucial role in pollinating flowers and sustaining life, books pollinate minds and nurture the soul. We see the connection between the two, the delicate dance of ideas and stories that enrich our lives.
I'm Hailey.
And I'm Cody.
Welcome to our podcast.
Hello, Hailey.
Hello.
I forgot to check, but I think this is episode 20.
Yeah, we're officially.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, in the 20s.
We're in the 20s. We're in our 20s era.
I know.
What do you do when you're 20? You drink illegally because you're not 21.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything you can do when you're 20. I mean, obviously, besides, like, vote and, like, buy tobacco products. Is that now 21 in some states?
It's 21 now. Yeah, it's 21.
Oh. Well, shit, we can't even do that.
Well, we can pretend to be 21 and go out drinking.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woohoo.
20 episodes. We're almost halfway, we're almost at our halfway mark for the year.
Wow. That's crazy.
20. No, next episode we'll be halfway done with the year.
Wow.
I think, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
Wow. Dang.
I know.
Time flies.
It does. We're out here.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Yeah, look at us. And ironically, so Hailey's moved back to Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And I am currently in the state that Hailey used to live in, which is Illinois, for a conference. So it's like we switched places almost, except you're not in my home state. But yeah.
Right. Still in the Pacific Northwest.
Still in the Pacific. Yeah, basically, like, we're neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
Idaho touches Washington, so we're neighbors. But yeah. And I'm not anywhere close to where you were when you lived here. But
yeah.
Yeah. But it's kind of funny.
Yeah. It's like we did a little flip-flop.
We did. Yep. And it's a off day for us because it's a Saturday evening because of both of our schedules not syncing up very well. So, this is like the third week in a row. It has not been a Wednesday recording. So
I know. Eventually we'll get back to it, but I feel like it's just been a wild time,
Yeah, it's been a great. You guys, I mean, we love doing the podcast, but I think you guys are a little lucky that we've still been able to do the podcast because it's been a little chaotic over the past 2-3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We strive for consistency here, and we have so far achieved it.
Exactly. We're doing our best.
Yeah, we're just doing our best. So, mail us money. If you're an advertisement company, give us ads. Whatever it takes, because we're out here working hard.
Yeah, we would like some sponsors. Shout out to anyone that would like to sponsor us.
Yeah.
If you're ethical and bookish related or not bookish related,
Yeah, I'd be down to sponsor just about anything.
Yeah.
Well,
same.
Okay, let me phrase that. Maybe not just about anything, but as long as it's legal and not weird. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh man. Good times.
Mm-hmm. Well, should we get into what we're reading?
Let's do it.
All right. Cody, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure, I can go first. So because I've been traveling, I haven't really been able to read a whole lot, but I am finishing up Book of Love by Kelly Link, which I talked about last week. I'm not going to get spoilery with it. I think what I mentioned last time was that there's like a group of 4 friends. They die, and they come back to life and have to discover why they died. And it's very much mysterious, and there's a lot of weird things happening. It's a super kind of trippy book, and it rotates between the narratives of the 4 friends. And I think I've got maybe 100 pages left, and it's super good. Like I've been
Oh,
really
okay.
intrigued by it. So I would highly recommend it for the Hive Mind for the listeners. I know it was on our 2024 anticipated books, and so I have been very much looking forward to it, and it has not disappointed. I just haven't had enough time to really dive into it to finish it. And then the other book that I'm reading, actually, I've got two that I want to mention. One is for my book club. I have a cancer book club where we read books about people who get cancer, their personal stories, and things like that.
Hmm.
And there's one that I just finished called My Wife Said You May Want to Marry Me by Jason B. Rosenthal. And it's about his wife who gets metastatic ovarian cancer. I will trigger warning for those who maybe don't want to hear about cancer or death from cancer. I'll say that before I get any further. But Jason B. Rosenthal, his wife was diagnosed with metastatic ovarian cancer, and she ended up suffering from it, died from it. And she was an author and kind of a public figure, and she wrote a story to the New York Times saying, "You might want to marry my husband." I think that was the name of the title of her piece,
Hmm.
and it was basically a love letter to her husband, and talking about how great he is, and basically saying, when I pass away from my cancer, you should find love again. And so this book is him dealing with his wife passing away from cancer and kind of growing from that. And the story kind of ends basically with him sort of moving on, for lack of a better term. And it's really interesting. The book club enjoyed it. I listened to it on audiobook. It's very good because he narrates it himself.
Hmm.
He's just a very good speaker and writer, and I really, really enjoyed the story. So I'd recommend. But it is a little bit, heartbreaking, obviously. So go into it
Yeah.
with the right mindset for sure. And then the last book that I want to mention, which I have been very excited to read, and I'm just getting ready to start it, is The Brides of High Hill by Nghi, and that is the latest installment of her series that's called I think it's called the Singing Hill series. And it's the monk who travels around and hears stories from basically like a fantastical version of China. And I think I talked about the last two or three on the podcast, and this is the one that just came out, I think, a couple months ago.
Hmm.
I love the series. I'm so excited to read this book. They're like little novellas, and they all take place in random spots of the timeline, so you can read them in any order. I just happen to read them in order of release, but you can read them in any order that you want to. And I've loved every single one. I'm super excited to try this one, and I think I'm going to love it too. So yeah, that's what
Nice.
I'm reading.
Wow. Those books sound so exciting and like good. Um, Man, I can't imagine though having to read like books about like cancer, like people who have gone through it and stuff, and how like emotional or like emotion evoking that must be. Because like
Yeah,
as someone who like has had loved ones, like loved and lost loved ones um from cancer, and also had loved ones who beat cancer and are still kicking it. Which like shout out to if any of our listeners maybe you know someone that has made it through that, or you've made it through
yeah,
that, like that's
yeah.
awesome. I can only imagine how like heart-wrenching that must be to like read a book about that.
Yeah,
um
some are way worse, like just emotionally
yeah.
hard to read than others. This one, I would
Yeah.
say, he wasn't like detached, but he was, you kind of went into it knowing how it was going to end out, and some of them are
Mm-hmm.
not that way.
Right.
I did actually, just as a little bit of a tangent, so I'm at a cancer conference right now,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a booth that had a VR headset where you put on a VR headset and you listen to cancer stories for people
Hmm.
that were staying at this place. It's called the Hope Lodge,
Mm-hmm.
where you stay during treatment. If you have to travel a long distance for whatever you need for cancer treatment. And one of the stories was a girl who survived her chemotherapy, and she got to ring the chemo bell as she finished her last chemo.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my first real experience with VR. It was crazy to just like I felt like I was sitting there in the room with her, and I did
Wow.
actually tear up just a little tiny bit when she
Yeah.
rang the bell. It was such a powerful way for somebody to tell their story.
Yeah.
And so
That's
that was really,
crazy.
really cool. Yeah.
What a wild time that we're living in too, where you can like put on like VR device and get to like experience that like as if you're experiencing it firsthand. That's so wild.
Yeah. It was very wild. But good. And I think it's going to be more common.
Mhm.
So, if you happen to
Yeah.
get an opportunity like that, I would definitely recommend it because it was really,
Mhm.
really moving.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I bet.
Yeah. Haley, what are you reading?
Um, I'm not. Um,
We're both like not very productive in our reading space right now.
yeah. So I had like really high hopes for May. I was like, I'm gonna read so many books, and this just has not happened. And now we're like officially in June, but yeah, I'm like, man, I was trying to at least stick to my like, because it seems like I'm averaging about like between 6 and 7 books per month, and I'm trying to stick on that schedule, but I'm also trying to like read a little bit more so I can reach my goal for the year. But man, this month really put a wedge in my or a wrench in my plans. That's the word I was looking for. So it's like, dang it.
Yeah.
But I'm still reading, I believe it's called Swift and Saddled. I'm pretty sure that's the one by Lyla Sage. And then I'm almost done with Always Practice Safe Hex by Juliette Cross. And so, yeah, that really good books. I'm just being a slow reader. Life's been crazy. So,
Yeah. I really do want to try out the Lila Sage first book. I forget what that first one's called, but Done and Dusted, is that the first one?
Yeah, Done and Dusted. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really want to try that one.
Yeah, definitely recommend. Such good reads.
Yeah. The covers are just so pretty too. That's what I love about the
They
covers.
are. I
They're
love her covers.
So pretty.
Well, and so on Bookstagram, so like now I don't know if it's like a new feature on Instagram, but like you can start like groups almost
Mm.
where so like a couple of the authors that I follow, and Lyla Sage is one of them. I also follow the one for Emily McIntyre. It's like a group where the authors they'll just give you like updates or like polls or excuse me, I'm trying to think of the other things that they have in there, but like it's essentially just like the authors like messaging you. You can't like respond or anything unless it's like a poll or like a questionnaire type of deal. But it's really cool, and it's like really interactive, and you get to like react, so you can put like emojis and stuff. I feel like it's very similar to like Discord a little bit, but without like the intimidation of Discord, like having to like participate in conversations. So yeah, it's really cool, and she's talking a lot about like her new book that she'll be coming out with, which I think is the third book in the series. I forget what the name of it is, but I'm really excited for it. And it's she just was talking about like doing like book tour stuff and like what cities like she should be visiting. So yeah, it's really cool.
Hey, I love that.
Yeah.
I've never seen that. I haven't seen that on Bookstagram before, so that's really cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah. And I don't know exactly how you get there, but like I know the way that I've came across these is like the authors will like send out like an invite, and then you just accept the invite and it'll put you in the group, which is cool.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to check that out
Yeah.
for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Well, we promise for next week we'll be reading more,
Yes.
hopefully.
Fingers crossed.
Or maybe not. Like, we're people. We have lives, You
Yeah,
never know what's going to
right.
happen.
We're just people.
Yeah, we're just people. Just regular folks.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, do we have any beekeeping today? I don't think
Yes,
I
I
have
have.
any. Oh,
I
okay.
have 2 beekeepings.
Okay.
Yeah, 2. So yesterday I went to the there's a pretty like popular rapper who did some like book talk music songs that like
Oh.
went viral on book talk. His name's Russ. The artist is Russ. And I went to his
Is that
concert
like,
last
is
night.
he like super popular? Like, am I
Yeah,
supposed to know him? Okay, but I don't know.
he did a song based off, well, one of the books that he based off of was A Court of Thorns and Roses, and the book talk community went wild, and it's called
What?
Nasty. That's the name of the song, is Nasty. And I think the other one that he did just recently, it's called That's My Girl, I think. And very explicit songs for our listeners. So if you're interested in checking it out, like check it out. Shout out Russ.
Cool.
It was a phenomenal show. Great. Like there was some like hiccups with like the venue that he was at, and he kind of just like rolled with the punches and like was pretty like courteous of like letting people know what was going on. Very like, I don't know, just the way that everything was handled was very very gracious, very nice, and still an amazing show. Great, like great energy. I don't know, it was fun to do.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I highly recommend. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to get out more, and because I knew about him as a rapper, but I didn't realize that like, I guess I just like I wasn't really into his music, like because he's been a rapper for like for a pretty long time, like 2013 or something.
Okay.
And but the book talk girlies and other people, right? Like not just the girlies. I mean like girlies as in like the phrase like whatever girly. Anyways,
Yeah.
they book talk went off, and like, yeah.
I love that.
Yes, they love
I'm gonna
that
check it out.
song.
I can't wait. I'm gonna check it out.
Definitely check it out because it's pretty great, and he makes a lot of like other book references that are kind of hilarious because it's like, I don't know, it's just not something you see a lot of artists do, which is cool.
That's cool. Well, is your second beekeeping about somebody reading Akatar on Book Talk? Because I could say that real quick.
No.
Right? So I
Yeah.
think I shared it with you, Haley, but
Mhm.
Young Gravy,
Oh yeah.
who's, like, I guess he's a rapper. Um, he's being paid by a woman to read certain passages from the Akatar series.
That's awesome.
And he's been posting them on TikTok, and I think they're kind of funny. They're actually pretty funny because he's got like that kind of dark voice, deep voice, I guess I should say. But
Mhm.
it's just so weird to see somebody like him reading the books of Akatar. And he said he liked Akatar, and now he's on the second book.
Oh wow.
So
Oh good.
yeah, stay tuned for those who want to hear Young Gravy narrate specific passages from the Akatar series.
That's so funny. I feel like the Avatar is like infiltrating like other communities of
It
like,
is, yeah,
that's so funny and cool.
yeah. I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
That's like,
I
books are like mainstream, but they're not mainstream, and now they're
right.
kind of getting this presence, and I love it. I think it's
Yeah.
cool.
That's really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, so my other beekeeping that I had was, it's officially June. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride Month. Whoop, whoop.
Shout out to all of our Pride people. I went to a Pride parade today. It was a small local. I'm not gonna say what city, but it was a small local Pride parade. Nothing like you hear about like Seattle Pride parade. It wasn't that. Because I would love to go to that. It seems like huge. But it was cool, and it was like, it like totally reminded me. I was like, oh my gosh, like Pride Month is upon us. It's here.
Yeah.
So happy
It's
Pride.
June already.
And Yeah, right. And for our listeners, if you don't follow our Instagram already, you totally should, because I'm gonna start making posts of like Pride Month books that we liked, that we read, that we might, authors that we think, you should maybe go support, that sort of thing. So definitely go check it out.
We love Pride Month here, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a book. I might not read, it's an arc that I might have ready for next week. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
That is an author that we mentioned already. I won't say any more than that.
Yeah.
Save it as a suspense. But yeah, very good Pride Month read for sure. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, that'll be perfect.
Yay! Happy Pride, everybody.
Yeah, happy
have a great
Pride.
June.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. Well, do you have any other beekeeping, Hailey?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, today's main event is our first installment of the Assassin's Blade, which, if you don't know, it is a collection of novellas that take place in the Throne of Glass series chronologically before Throne of Glass, the book starts. So we are going to be discussing The Assassin and the Pirate King. Is that the name of the first one? Or Pirate Lord? It's one of those.
I think it's Pirate Lord. Yeah, whatever. Insert title here.
It's The Assassin and the Pirate Lord. Okay, whichever one it is, you know what I'm talking about. It's the first one in the Assassin's Blade collection. So if you haven't read it and don't want to be spoiled, now's a good time to pause and go read it and come back, because we're going to be pretty spoilery with it. I also say I think maybe it's going to be hard to not be completely spoilery on the Throne of Glass series. So if you're super nervous about the Throne of Glass series, we're going to try not to be spoilery. But I think inevitably we're going to at least spoil up to the second book, which is Crown of Midnight. So just full disclosure, if you are super anti-spoilers, you're going to want to maybe avoid this for the Throne of Glass series. But if you've read Throne of Glass, this is what you need. So we're here to chat about it. Yeah.
Yep. So you've been warned. If
yeah, we've warned you. It's your fault at this point.
Yeah, and also full disclosure, some of my opinions about this novella may not be the most positive. I'm gonna try to keep them not like super negative or like derogatory, but this is pretty like honest opinions type of time. So my apologies to anyone that may have other feelings about these novellas. Again, I'm not trying to yuck anyone's yum. This is my own opinion. This is just what I thought.
Yep. Same for me. I think we're both kind of on the same page here a little bit. So yeah, if you really love this novella, we're super happy that you loved it, because that's great. Just because we maybe didn't love it doesn't mean it's any less of a book. So, we are allowed to have our opinion. Everyone else is allowed to have their opinion. And like, no shade to Sarah J. Maas. We love Sarah J. Maas here. We talk about her, I think, almost every week on this podcast. So
and I love, and we're both like big fans of the like Throne of Glass series. So yeah.
like every series has a book that you're not super excited about. All right. So here we go. Okay. Well, since we've already started talking about our opinions, what did you think about the first novella in the Assassin's Blade?
Full honesty, full transparency, I was really disappointed in the overall book. I don't know why, and maybe it's because I went in with like kind of a preconceived notion of like hoping that it was gonna be like more backstory into the characters specifically. And for our listeners who have been keeping along, this this novella, the first one, is a kind of touches on like Selena and Rolf and Sam, who were all mentioned in the Throne of Glass series. Rolf and Sam, there's like some pretty key components that happen with Rolf, and I don't remember which book it was in the Throne of Glass series, but I feel like he's a pretty big player in some of the, what's the word I'm looking for, in the like propulsion of the story line itself. So, and I feel like, and I also think that is also because in whatever book Rolf and Selena meet up in, there's some like past hinted at in the book that like I was like, oh, I wonder what their past is about. And to me, like, okay, so throughout all the Throne of Glass series, Selena is like in her 20s, and I don't remember if she's in like her early 20s or mid 20s, but I know she's in her 20s. She's like an adult, like a full-fledged adult. But, and like spoilers, but like she's like 16 in this novella, which already immediately was like, I don't like this. I don't like reading as an adult. Now, if I was a teenager reading this, abso-freaking-lutely, but I'm an adult reading these books, so I really don't, I try to stay away from reading from a teenage perspective when I read like books in general, but like specifically romance books. And mind you, like the Throne of Glass series has some, I wouldn't say like explicit scenes, but like there's some pretty like adult like romance themes in that book or in that series. So I was kind of hoping for a little bit of like Selena and Rolf or like Sam and Selena and like their relationship. I don't know. I was expecting something, not necessarily the whole thing, but I don't know. Yeah, I was just like really disappointed in like the overall, I don't know, like lack of anything juicy to like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
like
I do.
And even if it was just like a glimpse into like each of the characters and like maybe their past and like their relationship with each other, I didn't realize that it was just going to be like information.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the way I read it. It was very dry for me. It felt very like almost like too much detail for a novella. I was like, why am I like getting all this like intricacy detail? And it felt like it didn't have any, for me, it didn't feel like it had any real, like, detail that would have added to the Throne of Glass series.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like, yeah, okay, like, I could have not read this book and still had, like, a full picture of, like, the type of character that Rolf was and the type of relationship that he and Selena, that he and Selena had together.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I feel the same way. And I'll be full disclosure as well. I haven't finished the first story, Pirate Lord, because I thought it was super boring. And because we've been so busy, like I haven't been reading a lot. And so if I have been much more excited to read Book of Love than I have this novella, even though I knew we were going to talk about it today. It's not doing anything for me. You know, if there wasn't any romance, it's not a killer for me per se, but
yeah,
it's just the stuff that's happening in this doesn't even play pertinence to the main plot of the whole series. And I was kind of hoping for like a little bit more, like backstory onto like Selena and kind of how she became who she was, and like maybe how Rolf became who he was a little bit. And it's really like just this weird short story almost that doesn't really do anything for anybody. And I don't know if it gets better, like if the rest of the novellas are like more associated, and maybe it's because we finished the series before we read this book. Like now we know everything that's happened. Because I know that's not like the way that most people read this book. I think most people read it after either Crown of Midnight or Queen of Shadows. And we did not do that, obviously. But it's just, I don't know, it's just out of place. And even more so for me, because I just finished Kingdom of Ash, like that crazy epic, tying everything together, loose end story. Like that's all fresh on my mind right now. And then I have to go back and read Assassin's Blade, which is not connecting any dots at all for anybody. It's just not doing much for me, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and the one thing that I will say that this novella did for me was solidify how scummy of a character Arobin, I think that's how you pronounce his name, the like headmaster assassin dude, how scummy of a character he really was. Because I feel like in the books, like in the series, it kind of like hinted at how horrible of a person he was, but it was never like fully fleshed out as to like seriously how like messed up he was. Because throughout the whole series, and again, spoilers if you haven't read all of Throne of Glass, because I have, like at whatever book, Selena kind of gets her comeuppance with him, and you kind of get to see how like corrupt he was and all the like shady dealings he was doing on the back end, to kind of like mess with her and like the like type of character he was. But I will say that this novella did kind of like bring a little bit more light as to how shitty of a person character he was, like more so than what I already knew from reading Throne of Glass.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I do like, because Throne of Glass, like the first book, you know, you hear about Selena, who's like this crazy famous assassin, but she comes out of this prison and she's, you know, been there forever. And then she jumps into this tournament for the king that is like a kind of a weird introduction for her, I felt like. And so I was, you know, I was kind of hoping that this story would, or this, you know, whole collection, but starting off with the story, would kind of make Throne of Glass make a little more sense. And I do think it's doing that to a certain degree. But, you know, I think I would have just decided as I don't like Selena. I like Aelin, which we find out Selena's Aelin at the end of book 2. Like, Selena, for me, is not a very interesting character.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but like as I was reading, and maybe it's because she's like supposed to be a teenager, it's very much giving a bratty teenager like vibes.
Yeah, 100%,
like
100%.
And it's really hard for me to like read characters like that in any book. It's like, and I get that. Well, okay, and I say that, and then there's another thing that just made me think of it. The other thing that was kind of strange that and maybe this is just me being a little nitpicky, but like her mask, or her having to wear a mask, I was like, what is, I truly do not understand the point of that. Like, what? Why? What, like, why? I didn't understand why they like made her wear a mask, like why her like face was such a issue. I was like, because at one point they were like, and I don't know if you've read this part yet, but there's like a point where she like drops her mask, and it's like, oh, she's just so beautiful, and I'm like, why does that matter? Like, I'm so. First of all, she's 16, and this feels like very icky. Of like like the other men around her, except for Sam, are all like in their 30s and like late 20s. So I'm like, this feels very icky that I'm like reading, and they're like, oh, she's so beautiful, and like she's like trying to use like her sex appeal, and I'm like, yo, she's 16. This feels not right. Like,
yeah, I don't like that.
I don't know. Yeah, reading it, I was like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't like it. Like,
yeah, I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I was like, ew. But I don't know. I think it was very much well written still. You know, I think it stayed true also to like the overall style that like the Throne of Glass series had too, which was nice, because I feel like it's really weird sometimes if you read a novella and it like doesn't seem to match the like style that the regular books are written in, which is always like kind of throws me off. But I did appreciate that it was very similar style.
Yeah, definitely like the writing quality is there for sure. Like, you know, you can tell Like Sarah J. Maas is a great writer, and it still has that. It just kind of feels like extra material that nobody asked for.
Yeah.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I do wonder if it's maybe just because we read it at the wrong time. Like if I had read this in Crown of Midnight or after Crown of Midnight, would I have liked it more? I can't say for sure, but I think I
Yeah.
would have maybe liked it more, or maybe after
Hmm.
Crown of Midnight or Queen of Shadows.
Hmm.
I don't know which one I'd like more. Or maybe if I read it first. Like if I read it first,
Hmm.
I still think maybe it's a better, like it's definitely a more well-written book than Throne of Glass. No offense to Sarah J.
Hmm.
Maas, but Throne of Glass was like her first book, and you can definitely
Hmm.
tell when you read it. Assassin's
Yeah.
Blade, she's definitely gotten, more experience as a writer, and I feel like that quality's there. Um,
Hmm.
and it does seem like a maybe slightly better introduction to the character than it does in Throne of Glass, but
Hmm.
yeah, it's just not. I don't know, not doing it for me.
Yeah. Which sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. But I mean, my hopes is that the other novellas are like other characters that maybe we like didn't get to know or didn't get as much
Yeah,
backstory with.
yeah,
I'm really hoping, because I haven't read or started or like I haven't even read the synopsis for like any of these other books, so I'm kind of going in blind a little bit.
yeah. Me too. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping one of them is how she gets into the prison that she's in at the beginning of Throne of
Mm,
Glass, and that
well,
plays a
that's
role
nice.
like in a huge like in the whole series.
Hmm.
Like I am assuming the last story is how she gets into the prison, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I'll be interested to know what happens. But if they're as dry as this one, it's like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah, I
But
think I'm gonna. I told Haley right before we started recording that I'm gonna give it one more
mhm.
before I officially like. If I do not like the second one, I don't think I'm gonna finish the rest because life's too short to read books you don't like. And again, no
Mhm.
offense to Sir J. Maas, but it's just not. It's just not there.
Yeah. Yeah,
At least yet. It might change.
exactly.
It might totally change. You never know.
Right? Yeah, you never know.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's okay.
those are my thoughts. It was, and it's a fairly short book, although on my phone,
Hmm.
it because I downloaded it on my phone, it was 138 pages or 130. I don't remember. It was 130 something pages.
Yeah, I
So
don't even know what it is
it was
for mine.
longer than I was expecting. But I think it's only like 70 something in like the actual book. I can look
That's
that
not
up
bad.
on my
Yeah,
phone. Yeah, it's really not that bad. Truly. But hey, at least, we have one more book that we read
that's
for the
true.
month of May.
Yep, that's so true.
It's only 38 pages long, supposedly. So
30
if you buy
pages?
the
Really?
38 pages. If you buy the physical copy.
Huh. Seems like it's. I mean, my Kobo usually doubles the pages,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like my Kobo
Same.
has it longer than 30, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Yep.
Technology's hard.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Yeah. Well, so those are our thoughts on the first novella for the
Mm-hmm.
Assassin's Blade. Do you remember what the second one's called, Haley?
Yeah, I can grab it really quick. The second one is called. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun.
It's oh shoot.
I guess
See,
I can
my
look up.
phone did the thing where it like for whatever reason, my phone does not have the second one available. It has like the third, fourth, fifth, but not the second. I want to say I can look it up super duper quick though on
So
Goodreads.
yeah, I might be able to
Um,
pull it up on my phone. Oh, it's called The Assassin and the Healer.
that's right.
Oh, I think I know what this one's about.
Oh, I'm so dumb. I made a post on our Instagram about what books there was.
It's late.
Hello.
We're tired. It's been a couple
Yeah,
weeks.
it's been a while.
I
Okay,
so
yeah, The Assassin and the Healer.
Well, I haven't read it, so this is not a spoiler because I can't possibly spoil it if I haven't read it. But I think the second one is about the chick that Kale ends up with.
Oh, not Wyrene, but oh my god, what is her name?
Yeah, Yrene. Yrene.
Is it?
Yeah, the healer
Okay.
from Tower of Dawn, right?
Wait, who's the friend that gets? What was her name? I don't remember.
The friend that gets.
Yeah,
What? Wait, who?
the one, the
Am I forgetting the name?
in the
Oh, yeah. It starts with an N.
oh nah, what is her name? Why
We
can't
are
I
fans of
remember?
the series, listeners.
Yeah, I
Just
promise. Listen, I have not read the series in 2 years
Nehemia,
officially.
something like that. Nehemia.
Oh, yeah, and all some of the names are I. That's a thing. Okay, I really wish that she would have put like how to pronounce the names of the characters because I
Yes.
struggled so much in these books with all the different names. Like even like Aelin and Selena, I was like, is it Selena? Is it
Yeah.
Selena? Is it like Selena?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's
I was
so
like,
true.
how am I supposed to be pronouncing this character's name in my head? Because
Yeah.
once I come up with like how I think it's supposed to be pronounced in my head and I hear it and it's not the same, I'm like, "Ugh, well, that just ruins it.
Yeah.
It
We're
makes it
just
really
like
hard.
Haley had to teach. Like I didn't know Kale's name was Kale. I thought it was like
Okay.
Shawl or something.
Well, so the only reason why I knew that it was Kale is because there's like sweatshirts and like memes and stuff. Like him, like spelled Kale, like the like lettuce, kale.
Yes. I
It
love it.
like
I
cracks
love
me
it.
up because that's how like the fandom refers to him as Kale, like the leafy greens.
I love it. I love it.
It like cracked me up. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
Well, and I'm so bad at character names. And there
Mm-hmm.
was, speaking of memes, there was this meme about Fourth Wing, like the
Mm-hmm.
male, like love interest, whose name I can't remember right now. It starts with an X, and someone posted on like Instagram or something. Like I just see the X name, and that's what I call him. I just call him X in my head, and that's it. And that's totally what I do with these books. Like if like Aelin's friend in
Lysander.
the first two books, yeah, yeah, I think that is it.
Okay.
Uh, I just called her like, Nehemia, and I just saw
Yeah.
the N and the rest of the letters, and like, oh, okay, that's who we're talking about. Never once
Right.
have to remember her name. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm really bad at that. I do that a lot.
Yeah. I listen, when Harry Potter came out, I did not realize that Hermione's name, spoiler if no one's freaking watched or the
This
movies or
is your
read the
fault. If you
books.
don't know the spoiler hit is about to drop, that's your
I,
fault. It's been fucking
yeah.
20 years. Like,
Yeah.
time to let it go.
Right. So I didn't realize that Hermione's name was Hermione. I always, in my head, I thought it was like Hermione or like, I didn't, I, like, my brain was like, how the hell do you pronounce this person's name? Like, and again, please, authors, I am begging for a name pronunciation somewhere in the book, in the back,
So
in the
true.
front. I don't care. But I desperately need them. Rysand? How it's actually Rysand? I'm sorry, but it's Rysand in my head forever.
It's Rysand for me too. Like, yeah, I know people make fun of us. Like the people who call him Rysand, they're like, "What kind
Mhm.
of a name is Rice?" And I was like, "That's a great abbreviation name. It's better than Riss. You want me to call this guy Riss as his
Yeah, or
abbreviation? No, that's not
right? Or like when yeah, because when the like nickname or whatever, when they call him Riss or what, like in my brain, I read that as Rice, and I don't
Yep.
know, like I know people that are actually named Rysand or Ryson, and it's
Mm-hmm.
pronounced Rysand, and it's spelled the same way without the D, but it's like, come on, freaking, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'm sticking with. We're a Rysand podcast here. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but both of us independently read it as Rysand, and that's how we go with it. I'm never gonna call him Rysand or however. I don't even know how to say it the other way. I really don't, because
Right.
Rysand makes so much more sense than the other way. So it's just how
Right.
it is. It's just how it is.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's just it is like people. I feel like that must just be like the risk you take as like a author when you're coming up with the names, especially if they're like names that like either you like made up or you like fused together from like you liked two names and you were like smash 'em. I don't know, but like name your characters at your own risk, and if you don't tell us how to pronounce them like before we read the books, or if it's not like common knowledge, my brain's gonna supplement the information. Like how to pronounce, like if someone saw my name in the wild and they didn't know that it was pronounced Hailey, like you know they might
Yep.
pronounce it something different. I don't know.
So true. So true.
It happens.
Yep.
Happens.
It does.
Right.
It does. All right. Well, those are our thoughts on the Assassin and the Pirate Lord. We're sorry if you're expecting us to give it high praises, but you know
Yeah.
what? We're nice but honest here, and
Yep.
we love Sarah J. Maas. We just don't love the Pirate King. Yes.
Yep. Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. But you know what? Now that I saw the name of the second one, the healer, I'm a little bit excited about that because even though I didn't love Tower of Dawn, I
Mm-hmm.
did kind of like that character. So if it is her, I'm kind of excited
Yes.
for it. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a
Yes.
shot. I'll definitely have it read before next time we record. Yeah, should be fun.
Yeah. And I think I'm just gonna stick it out hope, I'm just gonna hope for the
Yeah,
best.
we have to put faith in our Lord and Savior SJM because she hasn't disappointed us yet. It's
Yep.
bound to get better.
Exactly.
Well, if you have any thoughts on the Assassin and the Pirate King or Pirate Lord, I still don't know which one it is, so I'm so sorry. I'm just saying whichever one comes to my head first. Um, Let us know what you think. If you loved it, please shoot us an email at booksandbeastpod@gmail.com and tell us
Mhm.
why you think we're stupid and that we should love this book. I would love to get an email that says, listen, Cody and Haley, you guys need to give this another shot, and here's why you need to like it.
Right.
Because we'd love to have differing opinions, and I would love to hear why someone loves a short story, and I would be super excited to chat with you about it. If you don't want to
Yes.
email, you can Instagram us at Books and the Beast Pod, where Haley is
Hmm.
going to post some amazing content, especially for Pride
Yes.
Month and for our
Hmm.
co-read of the Assassin's Blade. So feel free to comment or send us a message there. We'd love to chat with you on Instagram, and follow us if you haven't already, because we post a lot of great
Yeah.
stuff on there.
Hmm.
We also,
Yes.
we love reviews on our podcast listening app. So if you would like to give us a review on a podcast app that you're using right now, the one you're listening to right now, go give us a review. Preferably 5 stars, but I could understand why today you may not want to give us 5 stars. Uh, because it does help us
It
get
does.
more listeners. It does help us get more listeners, grow the hive
Hmm.
mind. So give us a review. It doesn't have to be 5 stars. You don't want it to be, but you know,
Yeah.
maybe don't judge us solely on this episode.
Yeah. Yeah. Go listen to our other episodes where we talk about
Yeah,
books that we really enjoyed. I don't know.
yeah, yeah. Go listen to the Ice Planet Barbarian episodes. We actually were pretty cool
Yeah.
about that book. Go
Yes.
go check those out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then, of course, we want to give a shout out to the American Indie for the use of their song Rendezvous. It is a bop. I love it.
Hmm.
It's actually probably going to be on my Spotify Wrapped for this year because I do actually listen to it. Like, it comes up on my Spotify and I enjoy it. I
Hmm.
think it's a good song. So,
Yeah. I
great.
think it's a great
Go
song
listen
too.
to it. Yeah. And
I was.
I think they're doing new music soon. Like,
Oh
have a
wow.
new album or something coming out. So, yeah, check that out.
Oh, cool. Yeah. I
Yeah.
always like bob my head along when I'm listening to the playback of our episodes. I'm like, yeah, this is such a good like little,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's great.
All
Okay.
right.
I
Well,
don't have anything else if you do. If you don't.
okay. Yeah, no, I don't have anything else.
Okay.
All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed this literary journey as much as we did. If you're buzzing with excitement, don't forget to subscribe, email us, and leave a high five worthy review on your podcast listening app. Until next time, happy reading, and may your shelves be filled with tales as enchanting as a blooming garden. Keep the buzz alive, and we'll catch you in the next chapter. Bye for now.